Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special episode where we will be interviewing some contestants from some of the past PvP tournaments that we've had, and they're going to be giving you guys some tips on how to prepare for PvP tournaments that you may be in. My name is Justin. I am the community manager for War of the Visions Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. And first up, I would like to welcome the War of the Visions Final Fantasy Brave Exvius New Year's PvP Tournament 2023 first place winner, KiwiStingz. He's here to give some tips and some information on how you can prepare for some PvP battles and how he prepared for his tournaments. Let's dive on in. All right, and hello, we have KiwiStingz here joining us today. Hello, Kiwi.
Hello, Justin. Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Of course, thank you for coming. So we can just dive right on to the interview here. We do have a couple questions for you. You were previously the winner of the New Year's PvP tournament that we had, I believe.
Yes, I was. Yep, the very first one.
Awesome. And you participated sometime after, right? You were in another like official tournament that we were doing?
Yeah, I think it was the Horn Cup, if my memory feeds me well.
All right. Perfect. But you didn't quite win that one, but you made it into, I think, maybe the semifinals, if that's correct?
Yeah, the semifinals, yeah, lost then.
Still respectable. So you have a lot of PvP knowledge and a lot of PvP experience.
Yeah, I could agree with that, I guess.
Perfect. Well, let's just dive on in here. So when did you start playing War of the Visions?
From day one, I was definitely a day one player.
Okay. In good company. We've had a lot of PvP players that are also day one players.
Oh, yep. No, so I originally played Brave Exvius, and then I found out from the JP side that, yeah, War of the Visions was coming out, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to jump on this train, for sure.
Perfect. Yeah, I like that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have a very similar background when it comes to the game.
Alright, yeah.
All right, so moving along here into the PvP tournament. So how did you feel when you were chosen maybe as a contestant? And also, second part of that question, how did you feel on the tournament day?
I was actually really excited to be picked. I thought I was super lucky to be picked in the first place. And yeah, I suppose on the day, I did have a bit of butterflies, you know. It was more a serious tournament, I suppose. So yeah, I just hoped for the best, and yeah, it went pretty well.
It did. You won. That was amazing.
Yeah, no, it turned out good.
So when you're setting a team up, or when you're like thinking of setting a team up, what is your thought process behind forming one or setting one up?
I basically go with the units and maybe elements that I've played around with the most, and you know, the units I've used the most, and you know, had the time to mess with them on different maps, different you know, different sort of what's the word I could say? I don't know, just like any units that work or gel well together and synergize well, I suppose.
Yeah. So do you have like do you go for like an all element team, or do you try and utilize some of the like job cards that we've had?
I've definitely dived more into the element side. I haven't really gone to the job side yet. I do work some of those VCs in when they can work for the same mono element units, but yeah, no, I think since we've got enough units out in the game now, yeah, no, I definitely go with just the mono element teams.
I see. So do you usually go for the trifecta, DPS, tank, and healer all in the same party, or?
Well, I suppose it's first off would be depending on what map we may be on at the time. I always do like to have, I mean, tank and healers sort of a swap and change. I always love running definitely a full-on DPS. There may be like a support DPS that can also heal along with the tank. But yeah, it's vice versa. It's always a bit of swap and change, all depending on the map and, you know, maybe what the buffs or that are on the map for that week.
Right. Well, we don't have many buffs when it comes to the PvP tournament, but there is a cost restriction.
Yep, that's true.
So do you possibly have like maybe a favorite character that you always try and pick when you're doing this, or maybe just like an element that you always gravitate towards when you're looking to set up a team?
Oh, well, for element, it's definitely always light. Light has always been my number one. Favorite character? I'm not too sure on a favorite character. I suppose in light, I would have to go with Jaden. Yeah, I've always had a thing with gunners. I've always loved gunners, and his background from the story and just to play around with him has always been fun. And of course, we can't forget Eleanor as well. Like, she impacted the game fairly,
Right.
fairly hardly. So, yeah.
Yes, her presence is still being felt 2 years later.
Yeah, exactly.
So
He was-
when... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say she was probably the best invested unit you could go for.
Without a doubt. And that was before we had like the Santa's clothes, or the exact
Oh, yeah.
name escapes me.
The winter coat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're looking to build a character, how do you generally build like your units? Do you go for like, how do you set up your equipment, I guess, or your espers, that sort of thing?
Pretty much for well, equipment wise, it's what they are more expert in. So say like, with using Eleanor for example, we always go with an evade for her. She is just a full-on evade character, but for a team balance, you're always looking to synergize. That's, units that work well together. Maybe something that, you can get a bit of variance to. I don't mind having, instead of using double physical, I like that physical and magical side to a team. So you get the best of both worlds if you come up against against an opponent that could be built well to withstand one or the other. And one that, they, like I said, they can gel together well, or with VCs, they all get the full benefits from the VCs. I suppose that comes back into the mono element play where, mono VCs is the same sort of thing. They work for whatever element you're using on.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite equipment or vision cards that you always see as like a must-have in your party?
Not anything particular. Equipment-wise, all depending on the units, I suppose. Especially for PvP, I mean, you may want bells. Like, Jesus bells is always a good one to go to, but sometimes you may not need the AP restore. So, I'm not too sure on anything else. There's no real specific equipment.
Yeah, there's a lot of, it's a big puzzle piece, right? Trying to figure out. So it's hard to say that this one TMR trust zone setup is always going to work, because it potentially might not.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You're also going in blind. You never know what the other opponent's going to have, like you mentioned earlier, with keeping it balanced between like attack and magic, because who knows what
you
the
got to
other
play
team
to
has.
both sides. Yep, exactly.
All right, so do you generally do any like PvP skirmishing with other players, or how do you practice your PvP battles?
So like Auronnj used to, host the Friday night fights. So me and another fellow guildie, McCrane, shout out to him. I suppose we would always practice PvP battles. We'll build different teams and see how they go against each other, all depending on the map again. But other than that, I suppose it's just general arena or mock battles. I just have a play around in mock battles when the time frame is up before we actually get into the guild battles. So, yeah.
Yeah, so the mock battles, I mean, there was a recent update to the game that made it so you could mock battle against your entire guild. Was that like a welcome feature?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep, that's definitely a welcoming feature, or quality of life, I should say.
Indeed. Myself personally, it's nice being able to quickly hit the entire guild, sort of very quickly see what sort of teams I do well against, like maybe a lot of Sephiroth teams I seem to do well against, or not very well against, that sort of thing.
Yep. No, that's always a like I totally agree with that. It's a good update.
Indeed. All right, so switching gears here a little bit, when you're looking to get information for the game, where do you tend to head to first?
It's always probably Word of Calc. I definitely go there for everything about, espers, VCs, units, upcoming units. Yeah. Word of Calc is the bread and butter for me.
All right, very big fan favorite there. Are there any YouTube channels or anything that you go to?
I suppose I do dive. I don't just watch one specific person. I like to have a variety and just flick in between the different content creators that we do have for WOTV. Being Auronnj, Ready Player World, JB. Yeah, there's a lot of great talent out there and a lot of information you can get from them.
Indeed, yes. So head to YouTube and look up War Divisions. I'm sure you'll find a lot of very useful information out there.
Yep, you sure will.
So looking at maybe your guild here, so what guild are you a member of, and how involved are you with some of the members that are in the guild?
So I am in Hydra, Hail Hydra. Our leader is Mr. Degen TP. Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty involved with it. I think our guild as a whole, we all get along super well, and we all, we all jump in. If PvE content comes out, we all do our part for the guild, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you mentioned earlier that you sparred with another member of your guild, McCrane.
Oh yes, McCrane. Yeah, he is definitely my spar companion.
So guilds are very important. So anybody out there listening, find a good guild. You will not regret it.
For sure. Definitely join a guild.
All right. So when you're a viewer of some of these tournaments, are you looking for anything specifically? Are you just trying to enjoy the battles? Are you sort of analyzing or taking notes on what's happening? I'm
probably just enjoying the battles for the tournaments. I love to see unique teams, or maybe units that I haven't built myself. A lot of teams that I see people playing in these tournaments actually give me a bit of an idea too. Like, oh man, I've never given that person a go, so it makes me want to try out that unit.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely just the fun of watching, and yeah, just the uniqueness that some people can bring.
Yeah, for sure. It is kind of interesting sometimes just seeing the teams that come out and the way that people use them. There's a lot of variety in this game. So.
Oh yeah, there's tons of variety in the game for sure.
All right, so looking at the finals here, are you looking forward to the finals? Are you going to be watching them?
Yeah, I will be watching them. I'll probably try my chances at getting in that last chance tourney, so hopefully I can be there myself, but you never know. It's all the luck of the draw. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, there is a last chance coming up, so anybody out there, please sign up for that if you've already participated in a previous tournament.
Yeah.
All right, so last question here. Do you have any final advice for potential or future PvP players of the War Divisions world?
I suppose if you're more new, just practice, have fun, play with your favorite units, and just really learn the units that you enjoy the most. It's all, the game is all, I suppose it is free to play friendly. It might, if you're brand new, it might take you a while to get up to the PvP standards, but I mean, if you keep at it, you'll get there in no time.
Indeed. Very good advice from one of the top PvP players in our tournaments. So that's all the questions that I have for you today. So thank you very much for taking the time to join us today, Kiwi.
No worries, Justin. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much for that interview, Kiwi. I hope this advice can help you guys prepare for your tournaments if you are selected to participate. Also, the last chance qualifiers for the Championship 2023 Auto Battle, the Saiga Cup, will be held in October. So be sure to join the official Discord so you are prepared when the registration begins on September 23rd. We also have a special event coming up with Auronnj on August 26th at 6 PM PDT. And this is going to be held on his YouTube channel live, and he's going to be giving some PvP advice live on his YouTube channel for anybody out there that is looking for some PvP information. Also, 5 lucky winners are going to get a chance to receive a live consultation from Auronnj. All you have to do is fill out the application form in the description below to get a chance to be chosen. The application form will be open until August 20th at 11:59 PM PDT. So be sure to get your application in if you would like that live consultation. But if you're chosen, don't worry, you will still be able to ask some questions to Auronnj in the Discord chat, and maybe he can catch your questions while the live stream is going on. So be sure to join the official Discord server to be a part of that. But that's going to do it for this interview, so I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.